Hey, welcome back to the channel. As you'll be able to see from the mess in my kitchen in just a minute, I have a lot going on today. Next week is going to be a really busy week because it's treatment week for me, which means I'm not going to feel like doing much for several days after that, so I need to be prepared. So what I'm going to show you now is how to make your own frozen waffles that are very low on WW Blue points and healthy to boot. We'll be back in just a minute. So I bought one of these little Dash mini waffle makers because these waffles, if you do them the way I'm going to do them today, are anywhere between 1 and 2 points each, depending on what you put in them. So who doesn't want waffles? Now today I'm using this Krusteaz protein pancake mix. I usually prefer the Kodiak kind, but they didn't have that. We have 1 beaten egg, 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk. We're going to spray it with some olive oil spray. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of cacao powder, 1 tablespoon of PB Fit 2. So we're going to make chocolate peanut butter waffles first, and then we're going to make some fall waffles because we're going to use pumpkin. So first we're going to add the milk into our egg and beat that up really well. Add in our pancake mix. And over there on my stove I have citrus chicken and cilantro lime rice going. I'm going to add some broccoli to that. On the other side of the kitchen I have a turkey breast tenderloin in the roaster. Now let's add our chocolate goodness here. Now I'm going to put 1 tablespoon in there. If you like it super chocolatey, you can add more than that. Just be sure that you register the points that you've added. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of our PB powder. Again, if you want more of a peanut butter taste, just add more powder. You can use regular peanut butter. I have really learned that my favorite thing to add to these is Abby's Better Butter nut butters, because they're not really peanut butter. You can get cashew, almond, sunflower, pecan, and it's healthier than peanut butter but better than the PB powder. And these are super simple to make. This little thing was only $9 at Walmart, so I think that was well worth the purchase. You just have to be careful not to overflow it because it will come flying out the edges and make a big mess. Now I tried doing these adding the bananas because I like to add bananas with my chocolate and peanut butter ones, but you don't want to put the bananas in the batter like you do with pancakes because they don't work well with a waffle maker. You get a sloppy mess. And you see over here I have cut up some parchment paper to put in the middle of them, and I'm going to put them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer. You pop them in the toaster just like you would any other frozen waffle, and they come out fantastic. So we're going to cook these up and then we'll be back. Okay, we have finished our nice big stack of chocolate peanut butter ones. That's what they look like, and they are seriously really good. We're going to let these sit over here and cool until we are ready to put them in the freezer bags, and we're about to start on our pumpkin waffles. Okay, our chocolate peanut butter waffles are still cooling off to go in the freezer. We're getting ready to do our pumpkin ones. I have my beaten egg, I have added just a little bit. A pinch is just really up to you how much flavor you want in it. Just a touch of nutmeg, cinnamon, pumpkin pie spice, a little bit of the Swerve dark brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of stevia. And we're going to add to that, because we're using pumpkin, we're only going to need about a half a cup of our coconut milk, or whatever kind of milk or milk substitute you like to use. And I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of this pumpkin puree. This is not pumpkin pie filling. This is pure pumpkin puree. So make sure that that's what you're getting if you want your points to stay low, because the pumpkin pie in a can is way different. Now these waffles are going to be a little more dense than the others just because of the pumpkin. Those look a little thick to me. I'm going to put in just a touch more coconut milk. So I started with a 1/4 of a cup of coconut milk. I'm going to put in just another splash. You can also, instead of putting pumpkin in these and pumpkin pie spice, you can use unsweetened applesauce and still use your nutmeg and sugar. Add a little bit of cloves into it, and those are really good as well. Okay, and that is our pumpkin waffle mix, and we're going to make these up. Now, if you have one of these Dash mini waffle makers, they are not, I mean, clearly they're not like a regular waffle maker. They're very small, but don't touch this handle. When you open and close it, it's not like a regular waffle maker. This handle will get extremely hot, so make sure that you use a pot holder to touch that handle. And I have sprayed this with a little bit of olive oil non-stick spray. And now we're going to cook these up, and we'll be back to show you what they look like. Okay, these are what the pumpkin ones look like done. You don't get as many just because of they're more dense. You don't get as many pumpkin waffles from that same amount of mix as you do the chocolate peanut butter ones. If you want more than this number of waffles, then just add a little more pumpkin and add a little more mix. I have already put the chocolate peanut butter ones separated by the parchment paper into the freezer bag. We're going to pop these in the freezer. I'm going to add the pumpkin ones on the other side, put them in the freezer with the parchment paper between each one so that they don't stick together, and you just pull it out and pop it in the toaster just like you would any other store-bought frozen waffle. Tomorrow we're going to use the rest of the pumpkin to make oatmeal pumpkin muffins, so stay tuned for that. Good morning. Today we are going to make a WW breakfast bite recipe. I have everything ready to go, so we're going to put it together. This is not a regular muffin pan. This is a Pampered Chef brownie pan. So as you can see, it's not as deep as a regular muffin pan. We have 1 can of Texas style butter biscuits. The 5 biscuit can. Normally I would not buy the ones that have butter in them, but if you watched my other video from the other day about my grocery store experience with a vestibular disorder, you know I'm not really certain what I came out of that store with. These biscuits divided by 12 servings, or 3 points divided by 12 servings. We have 3 pieces of bacon cut and chopped. You have to divide it by 12 servings. That's 3 points. The sausage is 2 points. We have spinach, onions, and bell peppers. Those are all 0 points. The vegan cheese is going to be 3 points divided by 6 servings because I don't do dairy, so that will go in mine. The regular cheese is 4 points divided by 6 servings for my husband's. We have 8 eggs seasoned with paprika, salt, pepper, and a little turmeric. That's 0 points. So the vegan version is going to be 1.5 points per bite, and the regular version will be 1.6 points per bite. So that's the best I could do with breaking down the points. The good things about these breakfast bites is that you can customize them. My husband doesn't like bell pepper, so I won't put any in his. He can have regular cheese and I can't, so each one can be customized for what anybody in your house likes. I've already cut the biscuits into little pieces. You roll them out and cut them in pieces instead of using them as a crust, and that way they cook up through the whole bite, and we like it better that way. So I'm going to put these together really quick and then put them in the oven. Now you can add whatever kind of vegetables, greens, tomatoes, whatever you want to add to it. Just be sure that you check the points on each one before you do that. I like a lot of vegetables in mine, and the more vegetable items you put in them, the less eggs you're going to need. So I may have more eggs than I need. If I do, that's okay, because Piper, who is sitting in the floor watching me diligently, would love to have some eggs in her dog food this morning. I think she's really hoping I'm going to drop some of this bacon in the floor, but I won't. And again, the bell pepper will only go in mine because my husband does not like bell peppers. And just remember, if you want more or less bacon, you customize it the way you want, but make sure you calculate the points for it that way. And again, you use the biscuits, you can kind of smush them up and use them as just a crust if you want to. But then if you do that, you need to pre-bake it a little bit, because otherwise you will burn the eggs before the crusty biscuits are done. And I'm just going to finish putting these together and I'll be right back. Okay, these are ready to go in the oven now. These, you can tell the difference. These are my husband's because he has real cheese on his. And these are mine with the vegan cheese. I also went back and added a little bit of crushed red bell pepper, or crushed red pepper, to give it a little kick. So we're going to stick them in the oven now at 325. They're going to bake about 10 minutes. Okay, they're out of the oven and they're done. And if you remember, I told you this was not the kind of biscuit that I normally use. These are the Texas butter biscuits, 5 count. Normally I just use the regular Kroger brand everyday biscuit. These Texas butter biscuits puffed up quite a bit more than the other ones did, but I think that's actually going to make them taste better. So here you go, breakfast bites, 1.5 points each.